What could we have done differently? I have talked to so many business owners who ended up liquidating their businesses instead of selling them, who, again, they don't know what happened. They weren't sure why they weren't able to sell the business that they've worked on for 25, 30 years. And frankly, it's a tale that, I've heard for years now, which is they built themselves a job. They didn't actually build a business. They didn't build anything necessarily of value for anyone if they weren't involved. And so many individuals that I deal with, they get to within a year or two of retiring and they think, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and get my business for sale. And they just think that poof, all of a sudden these buyers are going to come and drop down hundreds of thousands of dollars for a business that can't run without them. Today we're going to take a look at really why people need to have an exit plan and how it is that I help them. And we're going to take a look at some examples here on a few articles so folks can see that again. So my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach and exit planner, works out of West Michigan and around the country. And I come here on YouTube, sharing information I share with my clients, and I hope to earn your subscription. Now, uh, I'll tell you, it didn't take very long for me when I was looking for examples to bring up here. Now, this is, again, links to all of the articles that we're going to be talking about are going to be down in the description. Be sure to go check those out. But here's one that I just came across real quickly. Old Town Restaurant closes, puts business for sale. Now, just when you think about that order, that should tell you that these folks did not have any sort of plan for their business. The thing that they worked on and built over years, when in reality, all they did was made a job for themselves. Now, all of these jobs that their employees are out of work. The place that people went to for, again, in this case, there was pizza and donuts that they made here, and it's just a shame. So let's see here. So the closure of a donut shop is leaving a hole in downtown Old Town. Real quick. Hey, newspapers, there's a time to be kind of cute with your names, with your wording. This isn't one of them. When a business is going out, like when a business is closing, especially one that's been open as long as this one has. In a social media post, the owners, Corey and Ann Thibodeau, explained the decision came from a desire to spend more time with their family. Okay, yep, they've closed permanently. While it's bittersweet, we're okay. Owning small business, hard work. They're prepared that for that, as Corey's been a business owner for decades. However, at a point they can't. We're watching the time of their children slip away, and they want to go and spend time with family. What they didn't do was prepare. So, and this is what I want you to read here. This is my worry, and this is what keeps me up at night. All right. The fans, again, they still have some hope. Thibodeau's are looking to sell the business, which they say is turnkey, except they're the ones that turned the key and kept it running. If there's no buyer, the equipment will go up for sale. So what does that mean? That means they're going to end up liquidating, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to end up having to sell off all their equipment, and then the space is going to get leased out, and somebody new is going to have to be coming in. And this is something that happens time and time again when it comes to restaurants in particular, but businesses across the board. They didn't do their planning. They did not open their business with the goal of how are we going to sell this thing when we're done. They didn't start from the beginning, and they never took the time and put the energy in to say, how do we package this business in a way that somebody will come and invest, hundreds of thousands of dollars into our life's work to make sure it keeps going. Again, because my biggest worry I always come back to here, folks, is that there's people lose their jobs because of this. Like they're out of work now. I guarantee you, they probably had some folks that were working there that were, 5, 10, 15-year employees because of how long they were open, and now they're out of work. And it was because the owners didn't do their due diligence and plan and have a exit plan in place, which again, you can learn more about how I help businesses do that at summitbusinessguides.com. There's a link in the description. Now, this is from CNBC. Many boomer business owners are getting ready to sell. This is true. This is from November 19th, 2025. It's called the Silver Wave, is really what it is. 10,000 boomers are projected to retire every single day for the next 10 years. Just think about that. For the next 10 years, 10,000 boomers are going to be retiring. Of that, you're going to have somewhere around 500 businesses that are going to end up closing every single month in and around the larger cities because they didn't do their time to prepare to sell this thing. They just assumed, hey, when we're ready to retire, someone will buy our business. Well, if you haven't done the work to get it prepared to be able to sell and operate without you there, you haven't built a business that can do this. Right now, they may be setting themselves up for failure. Okay, let's take a look here. Many baby boomers who own businesses are planning to sell in the years ahead, but have not done the required planning to receive top dollar in the deal. A realistic assessment of the company's value is critical, right? To get as early as possible to be prepared to properly evaluate offers and to understand the math of retirement income. And again, the big thing here, this is the last paragraph, this is just a small portion of the work that you have to do. Business owners should be also be delegating responsibilities long before a sale. Those that can prove their company can operate without their presence command premium values to M&A advisors, right? We're gonna look at a couple things here, just a couple notes here. So again, you can see here, this boomer probably not gonna sell this business, just is not. And I'm gonna be able to talk about some of the reasons, but in particular, probably not gonna be able to sell it simply because you can get most of the stuff off of Amazon now. Like that's a lot of this, okay? All right, now, according to a recently released report from the Exit Planning Institute, that's me, I'm a certified exit planner through the Exit Planning Institute of America. Based on data through 2023, older business owners are most likely to be contemplating a sale. 58% of boomers saying they plan to sell their business within a 5-year period. The issue is most of them are not ready to sell the businesses. They aren't packaged. They aren't built in a way that someone will buy them. Just keep this number in mind here. 84% of businesses do not sell. They do not sell. They go to liquidation. So pennies on the dollar for what the actual equipment inventory is really worth. And it's because they haven't done the work on those things. Now, with the system with the system that I use, the Value Builder system, there's 8 key drivers of business value that we look at and we specifically target and work on with my clients to make sure that they're ready to sell. The issue that comes down to that, though, is really it requires intentionality and planning. And we cover, I will be covering on this channel over the next 10 weeks, but it's consistently those 8 drivers of business value. We're going to deep dive and we're going to go really deep and take a look at it. So if you want to learn more about that, man, be sure to subscribe and check that out. Now, boomers are the worst at this because their business is so ingrained in their identity. Julie Kyle is a consultant who helps business owners prepare for transitions like a sale, right? Be realistic about your company's worth. I talk to so many people that they think because their business generates, again, one of the numbers that I just recently talked to somebody about, because their business generates $3 million a year in revenue, they think that they should be able to get between $5 and $6 million of revenue from their company. The thing is, and this is one of the key components here we talk about, it's a hub and spoke is what it's looked at. All the business decisions go through the owner. And the owner is the main salesperson, and they make operational decisions. When that person leaves, who's left to run the company? Who's managing the sales pipeline? Who's going to make the operational decisions? Right? Like, these are things that buyers are going to look at. And I had to tell them, like, listen, your business as it's currently structured is worth zero, because we can't buy you. We can't buy the owner. We're trying to buy the business. And if the entire business is the owner, there's nothing to sell, right? Except for liquidation again. And you might as well just call it zero. Okay. And that's one of the things that we deal with consistently here is when these business owners finally get to the point where they're ready to make that decision for that sale, they're usually late. It takes about 5 years on average when working with an exit planner to get your business ready to sell. It's 3 to 5. 3 is really quick. 5 is average. I've been with clients upwards of 7. It's kind of there. 5 is the sweet spot, though, in order to get the right personnel, get the right policies, the systems, all the training, everything kind of lined up, so that way you have something to package to sell. And if you are a business owner, that's where your brain needs to be at. That's how you need to be thinking. That how do I package this business in a way that will sell, right? Now, one of the things that we're running into here, and this is where I want to show you as an example of where the problems lie. one of the things that business owners or buyers, excuse me, one of the things that buyers are looking at right now when it comes to businesses that they are interested in purchasing is, how will it do in a recession, right? Everyone's got the, oh, recession's coming, we're gonna have this thing. And I've talked about it at length on this channel that, hey, you know what? Things look really weak underneath the system, at the foundational level. Whether that comes to fruition or not is always a thing. I have my doubts on whether or not the current administration will allow that to happen. Okay. But either way, one of the things, how will it do with the recession? And what I would say, if you're a business owner or if you're looking to start a business, if you are one of these top 10 here, you're probably in good spot, and you should be making every effort to set up your business in a way that it can operate without you. So that way, when you're ready to sell, you can sell, and you'll be able to sell for a high multiple. Okay. So let's take a look at here now. And when you're looking at this, I want you to pay attention to what type of businesses these are. Okay. And you'll see what I'm saying when I'm going down here. Okay. We're talking about essential businesses, and that's where you want. Here's the top 10 recession-proof businesses to start in 2025. A grocery store or food delivery services, right? So that, not a restaurant. Just be clear on this. Not a restaurant. These are for basic, again, the basics for food, right? From a grocery store. Auto repair and maintenance services. So we got transportation. Child care and elderly care services. Right, so we've got taking care of those who are not of working age. Home repair and improvement services. We're taking care of where we live. Cleaning services, taking care of your business and or place where you live. IT support and technology services, supporting businesses. Pet services and products, because there's a growing number of people who don't have kids. They sure as heck have pets though, right? So we're taking care of those that can't take care of themselves. Financial advisory and tax services, right? Has to do with our pay and our money. These are essential items. Digital marketing and online services. Again, these are all business support businesses. And then education and online tutoring services. Again, this is training, and also for those individuals who aren't necessarily working. The big thing to keep in mind here, folks, you're dealing with things that revolve around your ability to, again, Maslow's hierarchy of needs: food, water, clothing, shelter, right? Transportation's in there. Going to get hits for your work. Put the last thing in their work, right? Your ability to take care of those. Food, water, clothing, shelter, things that are going to make sure that you are able to work and then provide for those things right there. Those four things: food, water, clothing, shelter. Okay. They're all services, folks. You'll notice there isn't manufacturing listed in there. We don't have anything that has to do with manufacturing. We don't have anything, right? It's not there. These are services that are out there. And when they are around the core piece of protecting you and those individuals to allow them to work and be more productive, right? And take care of their families. Those are essential, like core features. The thing is though, even those that we talked about there, if they are not structured in a way that they can operate without the owner, these are the most, again, recession-proof businesses that should have value. They won't have any value. And that's really where we get at here, folks. Is the heart of the matter, is the big issue we're dealing with. That business owners don't look at their business as an asset to sell. Instead, they look at it as a way to secure a job for themselves. And that is what you need to shift your mentality as a business owner. Okay, got to look at your business as an asset you can potentially sell. And like I said, it's always 5 minutes too late. What we don't want you to be are these folks right here. We don't want you to be this old town restaurant. Mimi G's. We don't want you to be them, where they close the business and then put it up for sale. Okay, I promise you, if anyone comes in and does decide to buy this, they're not going to give them very much money at all. I can promise you that. If they had taken a couple years ahead of time and done the work and prepared this business for sale, I guarantee you, because of the clout that it has, and that it was already an established restaurant, they would have gotten a much more than their liquidation value. Okay. So with that, folks, again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because I do come here live on YouTube pretty consistently. Also, so that you know when I have new videos coming out here, specifically when it has to do with selling your business and getting it prepared for a sale. I've got this next 10 weeks. We're going to be putting out videos on a consistent basis. We're going to touch each of the 8 key areas, these drivers of business value that buyers look at when they're coming to buy your business. And if you want to learn more about that, again, go summitbusinessguys.com. You can go check it out. The link's down below. Take care.